Don't matter what your name is, share your story. We'll be waiting, yeah, for the haters, whoa.
Welcome back to For the Haters podcast. I'm Becky, and today I'm sitting down with Laura and Este. They're cousins. Laura's dad and Este's mom are brother and sister. They grew up in the same massive Italian family, same parties, same Christmases, same tables. And for the first 20 years of their lives, they barely said a word to each other. What changed it was the worst day of Laura's life. Her dad had passed away when she was 18 years old. And out of that, somehow this whole relationship got built. This is a conversation about family expectations, immigrant parents, generational patterns, and what it actually looks like to find your person inside a family you've known your whole life. This is their story. In big families, there's a kind of person you grow up knowing without ever actually knowing. You're at the same parties, the same Christmases, the same wedding tables, the same family functions. You know their face, their last name, whose kid they belong to. And that's it. For the first 20 years of their lives, that's who Laura and Este were to each other. Cousins on paper, strangers in practice.
They lived in New Jersey. We lived in New York. We visited them, I don't even know, like every time we had like a family party. So we, just to give you a little background, our parents are of 8 children. So there's a lot of people in our family. So we were having parties like every single weekend.
Literally.
So we would see each other all the time, but we were not close at all. Like when we were little, I don't think we even had like a conversation.
Literally.
So we were like 18, 19 years old. There was a lot of cousins, and the cousins are cliquey. So there were a lot of cliques in the family. So we just weren't part of the same
we were
clique.
out. So I would never saw this coming, but yeah, that's truly the only time we did overlap was our family functions.
Yeah.
Because as she mentioned, it was all the time. So yeah, that was the only time we would really see each other, but we did not communicate. It was just acknowledgement.
We're in the same room, but nothing. It's so wild to even say this because you're like, oh, you're family, but it's so weird when you think back on it, where it's just like we can all be in the same circle, but Este's there, I'm here, and we don't even talk to each other.
Their family runs through Laura's dad and Este's mom, brother and sister, both from Calabria. Both came over really young. That side alone has 8 siblings, almost 30 cousins, a calendar that has barely had a free Sunday in 40 years. The whole thing is loud, full, and very Italian. And inside that, Laura and Este are doing what a lot of first-gen kids do, figuring out which parts of their parents' world are theirs to keep and which parts they have to sit down to actually live their own lives.
How old were your parents when you came to the U.S.?
My parents were 18 years old. So they were, I want to say, like arranged to be married. So my mom's family came here first and then kind of brought my dad's family over in a way. So yeah, I think your mom was like 18, 19 too.
Did they come over at the same time?
No, separate.
Same. So my parents met here in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah.
So my parents were not arranged. So my mom came here when she was 19 and my dad was 18.
What was the expectation about staying close to family?
Oh, it was everything. Growing up, it's like family's all you had. Especially, I think our parents, like off the boat Italians, like they were the unit. And it's like everything you did together. You really try to help one another because you don't know English. You don't know a lot of the things. I mean, my parents only went up to 5th grade. So like coming here, learning the language, learning the culture, raising children, it's like we were always together, and it's like the family always supported each other, at least when we were younger.
I was hoping you'd get there.
Yeah.
How did your parents talk about Italy? How did the family talk about Italy?
With like beautiful nostalgia. My dad, at least, like so they grew up in Calabria. and they were farmers, basically. My dad had this like love of the land and of animals, and just they looked back on it, even though they grew up really poor, it had like such rich memories, I feel.
Yeah, there was not one negative
Yeah.
thing that at least I
Absolutely.
that
There's
ever
no negativity.
never. And
Never.
it's such an honor too because they truly grew up with nothing and in a mountain and like on farm and that's how they cultivate. That's truly how they survived. I mean, a child like 8 children, it was unheard of and just surviving the all the seasons with minimal food. My mom would remind me and tell me how like the girls would share their clothes. Like it was just
The
wild. Like,
siblings were really close.
yeah.
So they all had like really cute, like fond memories of each other. And yeah, whenever my dad talked about it, it would just always be such positive like things. And then, but when you think of it, it's like, oh my God, but you guys didn't even have anything.
Right.
But they had each other, and that goes back to like the root of that family where it's like, as long as you had each other, that's all that mattered.
Very minimal, but happy. Yeah, happy.
What parts of the old country did they bring to your households here?
Oh my God.
Oh, girl. Sauce making,
Yeah.
cheese making, meat making, wine making, traditions. So we do like we make our Italian cookies during the Christmas season, Easter. What's the one with the egg called? What? In Italian, I don't know. There's this egg cookie that it's I don't remember how it's called. We have all these traditions, all these memories, and we just truly
A lot
love
around
time.
food, around the kitchen, around the storytelling, around the dancing.
Oh yeah.
Our uncles, like my dad, would bring out their accordions. We'd start dancing our dances, the tarantella, which is the crazy spider, and we literally just like dance in it. It's kind of similar to like the Greek culture. But yeah, it's almost like they tried to replicate like whatever they had there here in like capitalist America.
Some of those expectations were said out loud. You'll go to school. You'll learn to cook. You'll get married. You'll have children. The rest you absorbed by watching. You learned to read the room. You learned what tone got you in trouble. You learned that asking the wrong question got you a look that didn't go away for a week. And if you were the oldest daughter, you learned early that being good at everything wasn't a goal. It was the floor.
Expectations in my household was for the first daughter especially, the oldest daughter, to go to school, learn how to cook, learn how to clean, get married, have children, provide in that mannerism. It was never, again, let's speak out.
Yeah.
It was never like go be a businesswoman, go run the world. Like those were never in my household, was never ever spoken about or even acknowledged for that matter. So yeah, that's how it was in my household. And it was kind of like linear too. Like you're expected to do these things. Like you're gonna go to school, you're gonna get an education, and that's it. So it was wild to me because it was just like, this is such an oxymoron. Like, you want me to go to school, you want me to have an education, but yet you want me to be married, have children, and stay at home. So like, it was.
It makes sense.
And back then I didn't see what I see now, right? I didn't know because like, I was like, okay, like from the, I think it was like, I don't even, probably like when was like you get your
just
first, yeah, like your like when you got our communions, or like, okay, you see this dress, like you're gonna wear this like on your wedding day. It was wild, the conversations that you would have. Like I just like got it.
Definitely the expectation of you grow up to get married to have children.
Mhm.
There's no other thing. By the time like I was growing up, like my sister was the first one in our family to go to college. Like people were finally going to college, but it wasn't looked upon like a wow, like such a great thing. It was just, okay, you did it, but you still need to get married, have children. And I think a big one for me is like being like a good girl. You never step out of line. You never say what you're actually thinking
Or feeling.
You kind of just need to read. And this was like crazy because it's unspoken, because you listen to the conversations the family has and you kind of pick it up, where it's just like you need to read the energy of the room and go along with it and never say anything against your parents or anybody older than you.
Were you allowed to ask questions at all?
Were we allowed? We were allowed to do everything. The repercussion of it
In those instances.
was, if you ask the wrong question, it's like you would, I mean,
Like
yeah,
they would it
like
judging. They
the
judge you.
fear of God in you. You're like, I'm not like, what do I say? So it was a lot of, at least for me, adjusting myself to the people around me so I can be that good little girl.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a lot of roles that are assigned in big families, right? What role did each of you play in that immediate family growing up?
I was the older sister, the first daughter, so I was like the caregiver. So it's oh god, talk about therapy session. So like I was expected to go to school, and then like on the weekends we would clean the house, and then you would go to work. So part of our thing here is my family owns a restaurant, pizzeria. So that's it. That's all it was. So like you would go to school, work, and take care of the house. It was, and at such a young age, I was just like, that was how it was. But I was like expected to like get good grades, make honor roll, and on top of that, play sports or have some extra, something extra on the side. It was all these things that was required to do, but yet still be a caretaker slash giver, all the things to like my little sister, or just be present of what the chaos of my household upbringing was, because there was just so much that I was on my shoulders at something like you. So yeah, that was for me, like, especially too, like if you can't like enjoy, getting all these good grades and doing well in school, but you have to go work too on top of it. So you're doing all these things. So it was just like a lot. It was a lot. I look back on it sometimes. I'm just like, how in God's name did I like not have like a mental breakdown at the age of like 10? Because I don't know how I was doing all the things and getting on honor roll, going to school, like getting my homework done, going to practice, going to the game, make sure I was doing well, like getting MVP. Like
That was an expectation.
it was truly,
Be good
truly.
at everything.
Yeah, especially like, and for me, basketball to me was such an outlet, because it kind of took me away from like my roles of being at home or like going into the restaurant. So it was like my only outlet that I had, that I was truly able to like just let go and just be me. And I was all the time like so stressed, and not even knowing it though, because I was so young that I didn't even know like I had all these issues. And I'm just like, all right, then there's another thing, like another day. And like the lack of sleep that I had growing up, it could never be me now. Like I've required at least 8 hours of sleep, or I'm not unwell.
Oh my God, I love that. It's so funny. Yeah, I think growing up, because our parents were immigrants, my parents were just working all the time. For me, and my sister's 14 years older than me, so I was kind of like an only child in a way. So I feel like I kind of had to do everything. I was kind of like the eldest daughter in my own way. Because after she left, it's like I had to be the translator for my parents. I was like on the phone with like insurance companies at age 7 being like, what does this mean? And I had like no clue. So you kind of become, or at least me, I became like the parent and the adults in a lot of ways.
What do you think it cost you to play those roles?
My entire childhood.
Yeah.
My entire 100%.
Softness, like play, just, being a little kid. Like we grew up so fast.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we had no choice. We had to like figure it out.
What happens in your family if someone does try to step outside of those roles?
If you don't mind, I would like to mention your sister on this one. Your sister was the first in our family to get married, move out, do all the things.
Go to college, and also the first to get divorced. And in a time like you think family would come support you, it goes the opposite. Family talks shit about you and they judge you. So if you step out of the role, you're judged, and there's no safe space for you to be fully supported.
Yeah. And I think what your sister carried, not knowing at the time, but not now too, is like she created like such a pathway too, because like our other cousins stayed at home until they got married. Then I came along and I'm like, I can't do this shit. Like I'm not marriage for me. I'm like, okay, that's not happening yet. So I'm just like, I'm also don't want to stay here like until however, if this happens for me, So I moved out, and I truly was like, if Maria could do it, I could do it. Why not? Like, and I did. And it was something I didn't know then that I know now. I truly broke like a generational, what would we call that? Hold. Yeah, maybe.
Chokehold.
Yeah,
The
maybe.
chokehold. Good one.
That is wow.
Yeah.
What a word to describe that. I love that.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, I would have never came up with that word, but that's so facts.
Yeah. Like if you stepped out, the family's gonna talk shit about you.
Oh,
And you can't answer back to them.
Yeah. Do you guys think your lives would look different if she didn't walk that path, your sister, Maria?
Yeah.
for me, yeah, because I looked at it as of what she did was like I don't know how she did it. She did it at such a young age. I look back, I'm just like, I don't know how you did that, girl, because it could never be me. But like, but then to go through all that and then the divorce and all that, and I was just like, it was like the talk of our family forever. Like I felt like it was like this conversation that no one would let go. And I'm just like, that's so unfair because like she just
And she
molded
was wronged in the marriage, by the way. That was another thing, like, the family expected her to, I know she wouldn't mind me talking about it, to like stay and just accept whatever was happening to her. And she's like, no, gotta go. And she was the first woman in our family to own a business. I know Este downplays it, but her dad is like the most incredible entrepreneur. Like he opens all these restaurants. And my sister was lucky enough to buy one of the restaurants. And yeah, she was one of the first ones. And there was a lot of shit talking around there. So it's like the family that's supposed to about like all about family is really just talking shit behind your back. And you kind of don't know where to go with it because there's all these like crazy opposing views on everything.
All of this is happening to both of them. The same expectations, the same roles, the same family that talks loudly and listens quietly. And they don't know it about each other. They're standing in the same kitchen on the same Sunday, and neither one of them can see that the other one is carrying the same weight. Then Laura's dad dies. Laura is 18, Este is 20. And in the middle of a family that doesn't really do feelings out loud, Este picks up her phone and sends a text she has never sent before. Just a check-in, just asking how Laura's actually doing. And what gets me is how small that gesture sounds and how big it actually was.
My dad passed away when I was 18. And I remember, like, obviously you're in this like crazy grief stage. And I remember getting a text message from Essie. So you were 20, you're 2 years older than me. And she never texted me in my entire existence of life. And I get this text message and she's like, hey, I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. And I was like, you want to see how I'm doing? Like what is happening? And I think from then I might cry in the podcast. Yeah. She would just keep on checking in and like really asking like about my feelings, about just like where I was. And really nobody else in the family was doing that for me. So it was kind of this like, oh my God, who is this girl? Like, why does she care so much? And we just really became close from there. We kind of built this relationship with each other. But I always say like my dad brought us together.
Yeah, I stand firmly behind that. I feel like your dad totally brought us together in a way that like it was mourning, right? You're grieving and all you're at your lowest. And I don't know. I didn't know what that loss would ever feel like. I didn't know. And I could have just only imagined. And I'm just like, it sucks because I didn't know you like that. But I was like, you just had this huge event happen in your life. And I was like, I don't know. And it's like, but yeah, we're supposed to be taught like family, right? And I just felt like I needed to like reach out and be there. And we've been here ever since.
Yeah. And she like really, it's not just like that one and done like checking in. She would really like check in and like just like ask questions. I mean, we come from a really big Italian family where you don't ask those kind of questions to each other. So it kind of just made me feel like loved in that way. Like, wow, this girl's really here for me during a time where I didn't even know what to expect. So our friendship started from there.
Yeah.
Anybody who's tried to build a real friendship in their 20s knows it's not as clean as the movies make it look. You don't just decide to be close. You bump into each other's stuff. You hurt each other's feelings without meaning to. You figure out that one of you needs space and the other needs proximity. And neither of you is wrong. You just have to learn each other.
The relationship at first was a little difficult because we have two very different personalities. I would say at the beginning I was like an avoidant and she was very attached. We used to fight all like a lot at the beginning where it's just like I didn't know like what this like attachment was. I was like, why do you want to hang out? Like, can't we just talk? And she's like, why are you ignoring me? I'm like, I just need my space. So it took us like a long time to finally get on the same page
Yeah.
of being like, oh, like we're it's like we had to like really understand
And reintroduced ourselves because
and
we,
oh yeah,
you know,
and reintroduce our adult selves.
true adults. So that's
And yeah, so it took a while for us to like get to where we are here for sure.
Mhm.
And a lot of therapy. Not together, separate.
Once you have one person in your family who actually sees you, the rest of it gets easier to name. The rules you grew up with, the versions of yourself that you were performing, who you were allowed to date, who you were allowed to bring to family parties, what everyone was going to say if you brought the wrong person, or stayed with the wrong person, or God forbid, left the right one too early.
You mentioned that there were expectations tied specifically, one, to being a woman in the immigrant household, and then as well as dating, your independency. What was it taught to you about dating?
You don't date. You just get married. And you better pick the right person. Like he needs to be approved by your dad, by your family. He needs to also follow family traditions. Like there's no dating at all in our family. So I think like by the time we got older and we're like, wait a second, like this isn't right.
my God, I don't know. I still remember at a family party, I had just not okay, that makes me sound awful, but I had a really bad breakup, like a really bad breakup with you know who, and I was devastated. And I finally was able to like get over. Well, that's not true. I didn't go. I used this poor other kid. I feel really bad to this day. I talk about it. I hope he hears our podcast one day because I really feel bad that I just used and abused him. But anyway, and I brought him to a family party. I was like the talk of the family party. Like, oh my gosh, like look at her. She just got all
Look at that whole
yeah, like she was in a relationship
Oh,
for
we're not
so
gonna-
long and now she's bringing someone else to the family. Like I was a whore, I was a slut. Oh my God, yeah, all the things. Like, and I was just like, and that moment, like I felt I was embarrassed, but I was embarrassed for my parents. Isn't that wild? Like the project. Oh, anyway, it was like the transference there that I was like taking on, and I felt bad. I felt bad for him as my date, and I'm just like, yeah, we jumped into this relationship quick, but like, what am I supposed to do now? Bring him to our family party? And it was, yeah. So she's right. You weren't allowed to do those things. And but yeah, for some we did. I mean, like even you when you were dating, you know who, and then that didn't work out. You brought other people. Like it was, we were so talked about, and now that's why I don't bring. I truly like dead ass. I don't bring anybody around. I don't, and it's not for what they're saying. It's just for my peace.
Mhm.
Because I never knew what my peace was back then. I was always doing it, doing, and now I put my peace first.
Laura, you're married. What did your family have to say about who you ended up with?
So I was the first person in our family to move in with somebody before we got married, which is wild. You guys, I'm 38 years old, gonna be 39, and we moved in together when we were 30. And I mean, the shit I got for it, the worst was like, this wouldn't happen if your dad was alive. Like, and like, just like all the fucking bullshit that came with it. So there was that. And, once we did move in together, once we got married, if we show up to a family party and we're like hungover or tired, then there are rumors going around like they're not doing well, they're getting divorced, or like
Yeah, it's a good point.
it just becomes so exhausting that you're just like, you know what, I'm just not even gonna show up to these things anymore. But my immediate family, the people like my mom, my sister, Este, a few other people that I hold really close, like they love him. But the rest of the family, who knows what they think.
There's a particular moment that happens, sometimes in therapy, sometimes in the kitchen at 3 in the morning, sometimes when somebody you trust says something that lands different than it ever has before, when you realize that the thing you thought was love was actually a pattern, and patterns can be set down. They don't have to be passed down. That's the part that nobody tells you when you're growing up inside of one.
When did you guys realize that some of what you got passed down wasn't really love, it was patterns?
Ooh, in therapy.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking.
Like a lot of it is patterns. And I think for me, I've been in therapy since I'm like 25 years old, like on and off. So I got it pretty early on. It's one thing, like I understood it conceptually. It's another thing to not live by it anymore. But I think probably just recently I'm like, oh, I'm living into this pattern versus it being an actual tradition. And that was it was very fused growing up, I feel.
No, I agree. Therapy. If it wasn't for therapy, I wouldn't have been able to break this trauma really of all of it all. Yeah, I started therapy after I had a brain surgery. So after brain surgery, all these things was building up for me. The loss of I consider him like a brother to me growing up. I didn't process that, like kind of similar to you. I just had this like near death experience, and I never dealt with any of my shit from my childhood, and it just hit me. I was in a really really bad headspace, and I truly therapy saved my life because I don't know what I wouldn't be able to be doing the function really if it wasn't for that. So yeah, therapy is highly recommend everybody.
Yeah, you're able to uncollapse
Click
everything.
that one.
All of them.
Do you guys talk to each other about these kinds of things, or
Oh, yeah.
We like her therapist, but my therapist should be best friends. Like,
Literally.
we just name drop all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I would
imagine if your therapist like go out for a drink?
I would love that. They would say how fucked up we both are.
So fucking
Yeah, your therapist should come too. Yo,
Shout out, Jen.
shout out, Linda.
yeah.
Do you know that my therapist has been my longest relationship of my life?
I think it makes sense.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too.
From what you've like said about growing up, right? Like relationships are really difficult for you to navigate, and like being a caregiver is really hard to navigate in relationships as well.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
That makes total sense. And I've had like 35 therapists.
I feel like that makes sense to me.
That makes total sense. I never even looked at it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that doesn't get talked about enough. Sometimes the people who raised you start to grow at the same time you do. Not always, not all of them. But sometimes you turn around in your 30s and notice your mom is finally saying what she actually thinks. And you realize the work you've been doing in therapy is the work that she's been doing too, in her own way, without anyone giving her a name for it. Here's the part that nobody warns you about. When you stop performing the role for your family that was assigned to you, some of those family members can't follow you. They don't know how. And the relationship you had with them, the one built on you being who they needed you to be, quietly dies. The person is still alive. You'll still see them at Christmas, but the closeness is gone. And you have to grieve it without anyone acknowledging that there's anything to grieve.
Do you feel like either of your parents have learned boundaries at all? Like while you guys are changing things, have you seen them grow?
Yeah, I've seen my mom grow for sure. Like I will say, like me and my sister always say, like we're really proud of her because she's also starting to see, especially with this whole family drama, like she would do everything for the family. And now she created her own boundaries where it's just like, okay, maybe I just don't give all of myself all the time to people who maybe don't appreciate it as much. So definitely my mom, I'm really proud of her like in that way. And she also now speaks her truth. I feel like as a woman in the Italian culture, especially old school, you kind of had to wait for your husband to speak. And I know growing up, like you couldn't really go against what your husband was saying. And now that my mom's older, she's 75, I feel like she finally found her voice and she's expressing and she's just like, if you're going to have something to say about it, like that's on you, but I'm not going to like not tell my truth.
Yeah, similar. I think I can't say so much for my dad. My mom with the boundaries for sure. She says no a lot more to her sisters, not so much her brothers. That's still a thing. I don't know why that's a thing. I don't know.
The golden boys.
Yeah, I can't speak for that, but yeah, and more no to like friends and like sometimes me, my sister, my dad, you know. So yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of grief and guilt that comes up when you are breaking cycles, breaking out of the chokehold. Do you feel like you've lost things or do you feel like you gained more?
That's a great question. There's so much grief in breaking these like generational chokeholds because you're essentially losing family members in the way that you knew them, and you're losing also your stability and safety in a way, even though it was never really that, but your idea of that. So there's a lot of loss, but you gain so much. Like you gain peace, you gain new intimacy with family members who want to go on that journey with you. But the grief is there and the grief is really big. And that's something never thought of while going through the journey. I've lost a lot of close relationships in the family. And it honestly, like, it feels like death. Sometimes even worse because that person's still living. And like, you have this different dynamic now. And, the nostalgia's still there. Like, how do we go from being super close to now just saying, like, hey, what's up? But you gain your peace. And I don't know if there's like anything bigger than that.
In a family where the calendar is built around christenings and confirmations and somebody else's baby announcement, the question of when you're going to add to it isn't really a question. It's an assumption. And both of them are answering it for themselves now, out loud, without apology, and with a lot more honesty than the family is used to hearing.
It is a tug of war in my head about it. My dog had went through emergency surgery, and my dog, listen,
It's her baby.
I've never ever growing up again, childhood. We didn't have.
I've ever had pets.
Oh yeah, but we never had pets growing up.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I speaking for myself, like I don't know what that was like. So lo and behold, I now have a dog. She is the absolute love of my life. And to the thought of losing, and I know I have to be realistic here that God forbid one day that day will come. And when we had the surgery, when she had the surgery, I was so unwell, Becky. Like I shit you not. I don't even know. I truly can't. Like you even said, like I don't even know.
Well, yeah.
I was so unwell. Like I can't even tell you for like weeks on end. I was deeply unwell. So to think of that with a human being, I don't know if I could do it. I truly don't. Like I really don't. Like I hadn't been that way since I lost my brother. I hadn't been in that turmoil like that since him, and I didn't experience those feelings before. I had no idea who I was because I was just like the thought of her not making it, the thought of like the results coming back of what if she's gonna die, the cancer, all the things. I'm just like, what the actual fuck? And if this was a human being, oh my God. Not to minimize it. Not to minimize. I know there's two. No, I'm not. I just was, and I had told you.
The feeling is the feeling.
And I told her, I was like, I don't know if I could have a child after this. Like, I truly don't. I'm leaning more towards no. It's not a hard no, but it's a no.
Okay. And Laura, when did you decide?
Pretty early on. I think, with all due respect to my parents, I feel like I raised them in a lot of ways where I was just responsible for so much growing up. And I've thought about having children, like really like deep contemplation. And I'm like, this takes a lot of work. Everyone's like, oh, until 18. No, it's for the rest of your life. It's literally an extension of you outside. And I'm like such a control freak too, where it's just like, you don't know what's going to happen to this child. And I already have anxiety like on a daily basis. I can't imagine the anxiety you feel being a parent, especially like in this world today where it's just like, I'm a little selfish about it, where I'm just like, I don't think I can do that to myself. And, kind of just growing up the way I did, I feel like I had my children, like my mom and my dad. And it's like, I'm really good, and I'm lucky enough that, my husband also is okay with not having children. I will say though, like, in the last few months, I don't know if it's like my biological clock or like what's happening. Not that I want children, but it's kind of
Hormones.
maybe it's hormones, but kind of looking to the future and just thinking like, "Oh my god, so what so then what? So like what is our life for?" Because then it's you become a parent and that becomes like a really big purpose for you. And then I'm thinking like, "So what is my life for? Like what are we doing?" And I'm really having this like midlife crisis of what now if not kids?
Yeah.
And to be honest, like, that's really where I'm at right now. I know I don't want kids. I know, like, I'll be a great auntie if you ever decide to have kids. I have my godchildren that are amazing, but it's a really big thing to have that gap in your life because also your family, your friends, they start becoming parents and the relationships start becoming different, understandably so. So, yeah, I'm honestly like in this space of like, what is life without children? Like, what does that really look like?
Yeah.
And I have no idea.
Do you feel pressure or judgment from your families about it?
Not
From
mine.
No, from my mom, no. My mom was always like, if you don't want kids, don't have them because she very much that's why I love my mom. She's so honest about parenthood. It's not like, oh, it's the best thing to ever happen. She's like, it's work and you need to put in the work. And so no pressure there. I have felt pressure from like extended family of when are your times having kids? Like why no babies yet? You're going to regret it. So it's just like that I feel, but from my immediate people, no, for sure.
The thing about a family like theirs is that you can name everything that hurt and still mean it when you say that you love them. The food, the dancing, the cousins who show up when somebody's sick, the fact that they came over here with nothing and built lives big enough to hold everybody. Both things are true at the same time, and neither one cancels the other out.
Listen, we can say so much shit about our family, but at the end of the day, like when shit hits the wall, they will also be there for you. Like when times get hard or somebody's sick or whatever, God forbid somebody passes away, like we all get together. So I think that's really beautiful. Listen, we're Italian, we're passionate, we have all this like bullshit. But at the end of the day, we're family and like we'll always be there for each other no matter what. And I think just like the traditions, the culture of being Italian is so beautiful. And like I'm so proud of it that, we get to be from this amazing culture with food, with family, with music.
What do you guys want people to understand about immigrant parents that aren't normally said?
Love them anyone. There's a lot of stereotypical ignorance, unintelligent things that because of from again, poverty, minimal stuff that but they know so much. Like they cultivate like the fact that they brought all that here and we now make sauce that lasts us an entire year. Tell me how you know how to do that. It's how many jars do you know how to make that's gonna last in a year? 8 children, that's gonna last for all. It's mind-boggling to me. But like honestly, truly give grace because like they know so much, they're so intelligent. They know all the little things, like how to cultivate the minimal things and just make it last forever. And I feel like as a society, we are go, 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 instant, 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 like Amazon tomorrow. Like we have instant gratification, and whereas with them, it was like a beautiful thing that lasted forever.
Yeah, I think there's a stereotype that like, oh, immigrants don't really know as much, but I think it's the opposite. Like they know so much. They're not only bringing their culture, they're integrating into another culture. They're raising a family. And it's just like, yeah, give them grace and just remember they're humans too. Yeah, they might not know the language or whatever, but like they're humans. They're learning. They're adjusting to a society they don't know. Like, and everybody's just human at the end of the day. And yeah.
Any advice that you would give someone that is trying to create those boundaries with families like yours that you grew up in?
Go to
Stand
therapy,
and stand firm in them,
stand firm, find support wherever you can, kind of like accountability, where you can go to somebody who can like mirror back to you who it is that you're trying to be. You need that support system. I think that's really important, whether inside or outside your family.
Mm.
And it's okay to cut ties.
Yeah. You guys are both having this conversation publicly. Why is it important for you to sit down and say these things out loud?
I think where we are in the world with the whole also conversation about immigrants, I think it's so important to remember like that's who built our country at the end of the day. And I can speak for Essie, like we're so proud to come from them and to like live here and to create a life that we created because of them. And I think that was just like so important in this time to remind people like these everybody's important and everybody's just trying to live and everybody's just trying to be good in the world. So don't discount that.
100%. Yeah, you said it great. I mean, especially with everything that's going on in the world, I think that conversation of immigrants is so sensitive, and so people would feel whatever they want to feel about it. But like, I'm proud to say I'm a daughter of immigrant family, and it's who I am today because of them. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. I wouldn't have the education, the means of way of life. It's because of them, and they were immigrants, and they deserve to be here, are here, and are part of this country that makes this country for what it is.
The strangest part of it all, the part Laura and Este still talk about, is that none of this would happen without the family they spent so much of this episode pulling apart. The pressure put them in the same rooms. The grief put them in the same conversation. The rules they were both quietly breaking gave them somebody to break them with. They didn't choose each other out of nowhere. They chose each other out of everything.
What did you guys start talking about that brought you closer?
Wow.
I know exactly what I was going to say. But
Let's go ahead.
this is, sorry, this might be long, but just because no one's ever asked me this, and I don't think every time we never really talked about it in depth. So here we are. Laura had asked me when she was getting married, she had asked me to go to her wedding venue with her. And I was like deeply honored. And there was a lot of emotions behind her getting married too, right? Her dad not being present, all the things. And Laura, in her Laura way, like just goes. And sometimes I feel like she doesn't always feel things or receive things a lot. And I think I truly believe that's what I put into your life too, to slow down and just anticipate. Like, life is shitty sometimes, but when there are moments that just are there to just take in, you should really take in, because this life is limited and you should take it on. And you have this big milestone in your life about getting married. So when she asked me to go with her, I was deeply honored. So we go to the wedding venue, and it was beautiful. Like, I got to meet the people that she was working with for the wedding, all this stuff, whatever. And one of the things on our list that day was to go look at the hotel that we were all staying at. We get to the hotel, and she literally has a breakdown because the hotel was awful.
It's like where you go to die.
And
Like, it's so
I
bad.
first I didn't know how to, but me being me, because I'm gonna tell you what's up. Like, I'm sure it has our small interaction. I'm just gonna tell you what's up. Like, that's just who I am. I was like, okay, so she's gonna start having like a panic attack. So I'm just gonna say this nicely. Like, so this isn't the greatest thing ever, but we're gonna work with it. So I just do what I always do. I just crunch, and I'm just like, we're gonna figure this out. So we figured it out. I go on my phone. I found like this. I was like, okay, so this might be a little bit longer, but we're gonna go over this bridge. Which, by the way, do you remember there was a bridge?
No.
Yeah, there was a bridge. We went over this bridge. I was like, where the hell are we going? Along the whole is this gorgeous hotel, like overlooking the water. I think it was is it New York, upstate? We were borderline Jersey, New York. I don't even know where the hell we were, but it made it work. She finally found life in her soul, because it was bad. It was bad. So it was just beautiful. It was like truly this beautiful thing, because another thing that she does, she just like truly pushes everybody away, just breaks down all the things, worst case scenario, yada, yada, yada. So we found a light at the end of the tunnel. And then what do we do when we celebrate? We always go out and drink and eat. So she takes me to this like pub, which I'm obsessed with. I'm truly like a simpleton. I love that shit. So we go to this little pub in town. And since then, our relationship was, are you laughing at me? Yeah. like
I love it. You're
the
so
pub. Yeah. The pub?
Yeah.
Oh, I
No, you don't
know,
understand. This what it was like this like blueberry.
that's
like,
all I could think about every single day of my life. I shit you not.
Oh, that's so good. I under when she says that I know exactly. what
Yes,
she means.
exactly. She's just
But she really is a simpleton.
it's very small things for me. Anyway, so we're there, and ever since our relationship was getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and there was this hold on my behalf, and I just was like, there's something there that I was not sharing with her, that I was holding, not only for her, space for her, but for myself, because I couldn't be my true, genuine, authentic self. I wasn't able to share these things. I mean, she's my business partner, she's my best friend, she's like my sister to me. Like, how can we grow and be who we truly want to be? And I'm now in part of her wedding and all the things. I'm like, I just have to. And it was something too for me that I was learning in therapy, because I was holding on to something from my childhood that I wasn't able to ever let go. And I let that moment from my childhood define me growing up. And I didn't know that then until therapy and doing what I do for a living, that I was just like, something needs to change here. I need to break like this generational hold, if you will. Chokehold. Yeah, I love that. I love that. So I shared with her, and
This had nothing to do with me, by the way. Like, chill,
wasn't.
she was holding like it was like an experience.
In that moment, that's what you were
In your
feeling.
head.
Yeah, because I was bringing this along with me in every aspect of my life, relationships, my career, my French, but with Laura, it was different. Like, I was just like, there's something that I know that I could share with her that wouldn't change the trajectory of my life. And holding on to that, I felt like I was walking on eggshells with certain family members, people, friendships, relationships. And I just was like, this ain't it. And I shared that with you that day, and it truly changed us, because I allowed you in, and not 1 second did she judge me. Did she look down on me? Did she ever use it against me in to this very day? Those words have never come out of her mouth. And I'm going to get emotional, because it's like, you're the only person in our family who I've shared it with, that has never done that to me. Whereas the people I have shared it with have used it in some capacity towards me. And you're the only person who has it. And I will never, ever forget that. And that's, to me, was a defining moment of our relationship, was like, that's how I know that Laura's my person.
I have no words.
Thank you. So thank you for asking that, because no one's ever asked. And I don't think I've ever like truly said that out loud in that capacity, because I don't think you realize, I think you minimize that sometimes, because it's a lot. Like I mean, we all have shit, right? But like, my shit's a lot. And like, you never took that on for yourself. You just accepted me for the fucked up person that I could be sometimes, and never looked back.
No, like literally ditto. And I think like our relationship with Este, I'm intense. Like, I have a lot of shit too. And she always held space for every single part of me. And I cry.
Yeah.
I felt like I can always go to her and not feel judged, I might cry.
It's okay.
Just, I felt seen for the first time in my life with Essie and my family, and coming from the family that we do, it's a lot to like go to someone and tell them how you're feeling, and for them to hold space for that and to support. And not only that, like, up until I met you, like, I was avoiding every single emotion and feeling in my life, because I never grieved my dad's death. I was just avoiding everything, and I kept everything with like a distance. And then when me and Essie started to become close, she became this like mirror for all of my emotions, and they were so big that like I couldn't even see them. And yet she held space for all of it. And she made me feel so safe that like I can go to her and share anything with her. And I always felt seen. And also, like, you call me out for my bullshit. Like, if I like distance and I'm like, she's like, you're distancing yourself again, like you're pulling away. And she would just like reel it back in. And to have somebody in my life really for the first time to like hold it and not leave or abandon, because that would be my test, right? Like, I'd test to see how far I could push her away before she leaves. And she's never left. And once I understood that this girl like not going anywhere, that's it. Like, it was done. And then I think that created a safe space for really like sharing it, like who it is that we truly were.
Laura and Este, Thank you for letting me sit in on this one. The two of you have built something I think a lot of people listening will recognize the shape of, even if their version of it looks differently. The cousin who turned out to be their person, the friend who showed up when nobody else asked, the family member who became your choice in family. If you're listening and there's somebody in your extended family you've been meaning to text, go text them. You never know which one of them is going to turn out to be your person. Thank you for listening to For the Haters. Make sure to follow, subscribe, and share the show. And we'll see you back here next Sunday.
For the haters, come on, do it now or later. Yeah. It don't matter what your name is, share your story.